Hey y'all, Patrick James, John Double Tap Britain. Amen. A woman. Was it a pun? Was it bad timing? Stay tuned. Hey y'all, thanks for staying with us. We're going to talk about amen
and a woman. And how we have apparently jumped the shark.
Have we devolved as a... Is it devolved? Devolved. Have we devolved so far that we are now going to say a woman at the end of a prayer? Is that where we're at? In fact, would we say that and there be something there to actually say it, because amen was designed around male gender, which it wasn't.
And amen and a woman, what does that even mean?
Well, let's clue those who may not know what we're talking about into what just transpired.
Right.
If you're not on social media, you may not know.
117th Congress.
Woohoo!
Just opened up Sunday.
Yes.
July? Wow. Am I jumping ahead? I'm pulling a Biden here.
You are jumping.
January 3rd, 2021.
Sunday.
The 117th Congress opened with a prayer.
Yes.
And that prayer was given by a congressional representative who's also a...
United Methodist minister.
You know, somebody who's very well versed in prayers, and one would assume what amen means.
Former mayor of Kansas City, Missouri.
Well, this is his... just starting his ninth term in Congress.
Ninth term in Congress. Ninth.
So that might say a lot in and of itself. Hashtag term limits. But
kind of hard to be a Christian and be a politician because they're kind of contrary to each other. But
U.S. Representative Reverend Emmanuel Cleaver opened the Congress with a prayer and ended the prayer with amen and a woman.
Yep. Now, he stated that it was intended to recognize the record number of women serving in this new Congress. 144 to be exact, which is a record, since I think the highest was like 126 prior. Okay, I get it. You want to recognize the women. Was that the appropriate place to recognize the women in Congress?
And no, he said it was a pun.
It was a pun.
Which, obviously, Representative Cleaver is a little fuzzy on what exactly a pun is.
Yeah, he said that in an interview that it was a pun intended to tribute his female colleagues and Rear Admiral Margaret Grun Kibben, the new House chaplain and first woman to hold that role. Hey, that's great. But first, we must look at what a pun actually is.
Now, are we talking about the noun or the verb?
Well, you know, we could give you the definitions.
Actually, we probably should.
We have them right in front of us.
So a pun, the noun used as a noun, is a joke exploiting the different possible meanings of a word, or the fact that there are words which sound alike but have different meanings.
Yes. Or the verb, which is a joke exploiting the different possible meanings of a word. Exploiting. See, that's what I come to when I read both of those definitions in the noun and the verb, is exploiting. Who is he trying to exploit?
He's obviously trying to exploit the women.
Well, was he exploiting the men? Was he exploiting the women? And from what I understand, he said woman, not woman. So that...
A men, plural, a woman, singular. I mean...
I don't know.
None of this makes sense. That's why I said we've jumped the shark here.
And he stated that he was deeply disappointed that his prayer has been misinterpreted and misconstrued by some, to fit a narrative that stokes resentment and greater division among portions of our population. What exactly did you think was going to happen when you said a man and a woman? You're using a word that is Hebrew and Latin. I'm going to clarify because there's a lot of people out there making fun of somebody calling it a word of Latin root. Our current amen in English actually has more similarities to that of the Latin version than it does of the Hebrew version. But amen comes from the root in Hebrew, meaning so be it. There is no gender in anything to do with amen. It doesn't. There is no masculine attached to it.
And it's ironic because this same Congress now has a rules change proposed to make language gender neutral, yet in his joke, his pun, both are gendered.
Yes,
he made a gendered joke to... How did he put it? To recognize a certain gender in Congress.
Yep.
At the same time that they're trying to pass a new rule eliminating
jokes or gender
or gender
or anything to do with it, and he refers to it as a pun that exploits. It's a joke that exploits. You gotta ask yourself there. Was that a smart move? I mean, we're talking about a guy who's been in Congress for 9 terms.
Well, and we're also talking about a guy who is a United Methodist minister. Is a prayer the place for a joke?
No.
I mean, that's the elephant in the room here.
Now, this is a 9th term. 9th term. 9 terms is equivalent of how many years, John?
Well, it's 2 years for a congressman, so...
18 years.
Well, he's been there technically 16, starting his 9th term, so he will be there 18 years by the time this term is done.
By the time this term is done. All right, so we're talking about 16 years working for the people
of Missouri.
We're talking about... I guess it's a minister. Is it a reverend, I would imagine, with United Methodist. It's a reverend. Mayor, Kansas City, Missouri. Wouldn't you know better? Wouldn't you think that might stir the pot? Or was that your intent, Mr. Cleaver? Was it your intent to stir the pot? Because I believe that it was absolutely to stir the pot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you can just look at his response to criticism. It was, I think, calculated to invite criticism.
Absolutely.
Because, the criticism comes so easily just in the fact that you made a joke, or at least that's what you claimed you were doing.
Yep.
Within a prayer.
Yep.
And you made a gendered joke in a Congress that's attempting to eliminate gender specificity.
Yep.
Specificity.
That is going to promote diversity, inclusivity. We're getting inclusive.
Let's just talk about their gender neutral rules change for a second.
Yeah.
They proposed a package that, in their words, would honor all gender identities by changing pronouns and familial relationships in the House rules to be gender neutral.
No more son, no more daughter. It is sibling, right?
No, that would be offspring.
Offspring.
Brother and sister would be sibling.
Yep. So if you're referring to your brother, you can't refer to him as a brother, and you can't refer to her as a sister.
And apparently you can't be a mother or a father. You're simply a parent.
I don't know what I'd call him in church. Do I call you sibling Tom? Sibling Georgette?
This all has a very 1984 Orwellian newspeak feel to it. No. No need to get the tinfoil hat.
Wow.
But,
anytime you go to Orwell, you got to go to the tinfoil Stetson. You have to,
but
right?
I mean, just think about it for a second. The English language has a lot of complexity to it, which makes it a very versatile language.
Absolutely.
And they're literally trying to take that complexity out and make it as generic as possible. Very newspeakish. So,
dumbing down?
Dumbing down, that's the term that fits too.
Dumbing down. They're dumbing down. That's what they're doing. They're playing.
But now,
down crowd.
Here's how they present what they're doing. I mean, it's obviously dumbing down. It's obviously, pasteurizing and homogenizing things. But their words. Democrats have crafted a package of unprecedented, bold reforms, which will make the House more accountable, transparent, and effective in our work to meet the needs of the American people. These future-focused proposals reflect our priorities as a caucus and as a country, including crushing the coronavirus.
Yes, I want to see the House crush the coronavirus. I want to see them crush the flu.
Addressing economic disparity.
Ooh.
I mean, time out. Economic disparity is code word for redistribution.
Absolutely.
Combating the climate crisis.
Right.
Advancing inclusion and promoting integrity in government.
I want to tell you something right now. This is just off the cuff. I don't do off the cuff very often, but I'm going to tell you what. Pelosi knows nothing about integrity. I'm sorry, but she doesn't. Integrity would not be ripping up a State of the Union address on TV behind a president. It wouldn't be that. There's no integrity in that.
No.
None.
That's complete political theater.
Promoting integrity, she has no concept of what that means. Well, so how could you craft and design this if you don't even know what the word means?
And that's the deeper issue here. The meaning of words is irrelevant. Obviously, amen, which means so be it, is now somehow gender specific.
Absolutely. Anyways, this is the ridiculousness that we are seeing. We're going to keep this one short, but we're going to do another one. So we certainly want you to tune in because there is a lot more to talk about with the idiocracy in America. And it's not just what the liberals are telling you. There's a lot more. So thanks for tuning in. And if you want peace,
prepare for war.
Later, guys.